Preds.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
The Bears.
The Bears.
I am the great Cornholio.
We'll see what happens.
Playoffs?
See, Sean McDonough, Jay Villas. Goats.
Can you play a song? Something cool. Put my mic on!
I'm calling both games.
Oh, baby! Are you serious? Goes down the field for Smith. Oh, he got it!
Seattle. We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
Welcome back to the Mike's Madness YouTube channel, and in this video we're getting back to the NCAA simulation tournament deal and all that good stuff. And we start here with, well, actually before we get started here, if you didn't watch the last video, go check it out. I'll put it at the end, you know, where the little like graphics come up, where there's like the two videos in the my profile or whatever. Yeah, so what I'm doing is, because of everything being postponed and canceled and all that good stuff, well, canceled, not postponed, I decided to simulate all the conference tournaments and the NCAA men's basketball tournament as well. And if this gets enough, well, I mean, I don't know. I may do more kind of like simulation stuff depending on how this goes. I'm not really sure. But, you know, depending on if you guys like it or not. But anyway, trying to think of any other like housekeeping things I want to get to before we get started here. I can't think of any, but oh, actually no. With all the NFL free agency craziness going on, again, look out for a video for that this week. There will definitely be another video with that this week, probably on Thursday, I'd be guessing, because you know, just giving myself more time to get that all taken care of. So kind of outline for the week here. So yesterday, or sorry, 2 days ago was Monday. Well, I don't know if I want to upload this video today or if I'm going to wait till tomorrow. I think I'll probably upload this today, so it'll be Tuesday. So we had the first video of the first conference tournament simulation video yesterday, which was Monday. Today's is the second video, which is Tuesday, obviously. And then what we'll probably have is a conference tournament video tomorrow as well, Wednesday. And then on Friday, I'll have the NFL free agency video. So there's that. And then on Sunday, I'll probably put out the selection, quote-unquote selection simulation video and all that good stuff. So just a kind of tentative schedule for those of you that are kind of following closely. I know there's not many of you, which is fine, but just also to give myself a little schedule in my head right now, just thinking out loud a little bit. But with that being said, let's get right into the video here, and we start out with the same slide we did on the last video with the conference tournaments that were finished and completed before the whole postponement not postponement, the whole cancellation happened. And you know, again, same teams obviously, because it's the same conferences. You know, you got Liberty, Winthrop, Hofstra, Northern Kentucky, Bradley, Utah State, Robert Morris, Belmont, Boston, East Tennessee State, North Dakota State, and Gonzaga. Again, those were all of the conferences that had finished up their tournament before the NCAA canceled all the tournaments and everything for the winter. And we take a look at the new automatic bids, I guess you could say. From our simulation video yesterday, we had Vermont, Southern Utah, which was, I mean, again, just a simulation. It may not be accurate, and it probably most likely is not, but for the sake of the simulation, we're just going to keep going with it here. And then we had Cal State Northridge, Princeton, Rider, and Morgan State yesterday were the ones to clinch automatic bids via winning their conference tournament. Now, again, if you're a college basketball fan, you're probably looking at the Ivy League and thinking, well, didn't Yale automatically clinch? No, not really, because the way that they quote unquote automatically clinched a NCAA tournament bid is by the Ivy League had canceled their. I think they were like one of the first conferences to cancel their tournament. I think they did that like last Monday or Tuesday or something. And what they did is they just gave Yale was the number 1 seed, the regular season champion. And what they had done was they canceled the Ivy League tournament and awarded it to Yale, the championship and the automatic bid to the tournament. Well, since basically everything else was canceled, I figured might as well just go ahead and simulate that as well. It won't really make much of a difference. So that's why we have Princeton and not Yale in this one. So just a little explanation there. Yeah, and again, this will be different than what you might see on some other bracket projections from previous days. But again, this is, as I said before, it's a simulation, so it may not be completely accurate. But in retrospect, it could also be very accurate because, these conference tournaments from these smaller leagues, rather, it is, the NCAA tournament begins then. For so many times, these bigger conferences like the Power Five, like the Big Ten and the ACC and all that, the NCAA tournament for them really doesn't start till they're in the field of 68. Whereas for these smaller schools, the NCAA tournament starts in the conference tournament because if you lose, your season's over. There's no way you're getting an at-large bid, even if you were the second best team in your conference. So, in retrospect, this could be somewhat accurate if it would have played out at all. We'll never know, unfortunately. Which, again, I've been thinking about it for a while, and it's definitely a tough pill to swallow with no March Madness this year. But I'm not going to get into all that again because it's definitely a lot. So moving forward, the newest seeding projections we've got here. I'm not much change from yesterday, I don't believe, except for Cal State Northridge getting that automatic bid in the 15th seed, and then Princeton getting that projection or that automatic bid as the 13th seed. And that Ball State thing might have been different from yesterday. I'm not too sure. I don't know. I wonder why that. Okay, I would have to look and see what it was yesterday. I forget. Anyway, going into the East, I don't think there's anything different here. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. I just had a sip of coffee. I can't even drink coffee. Oh, my goodness. All right. So, take a good look there. I don't think anything really changed here. Take a look at the South. And, see, I'm a little confused here because I don't know if Nicholls State was in there yesterday, and I think this may be a spoiler to what teams won in the conference tournaments today. But, you do see Morgan State and Rider right there as the 16th seed against Baylor. Take a look at the West. Oh, yeah, this is definitely a spoiler for those of you that are avid basketball fans because you see, well, I'm not gonna spoil it any further, but yeah, this, I don't know why did I go back and do that after the fact? I feel really stupid right now. But yeah, you might see something different, and we're just gonna say, my bad. It's just a small error. It won't be that big of a deal. But now we get into the Atlantic 10 tournament, and this is where we left off. We had just 2 games were done. The George Mason St. Joseph's game and the George Washington Fordham game. And, Dayton, number 1 seed, was going to be the team, again, number 1 seed one of the number 1 seeds in the tournament. Possibly could have made a Final Four run. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the tournament simulation, the grand scheme of tournament simulation things, whatever. Well, the trash just came by, so that's probably what you just heard. I was confused. I was like, what was that sound? But yeah, again, bear with me as we're all kind of at home, so, different things are going on. I'm not in the confines of my dorm rooms where I can just shut my door and have pretty much silence. But whatever, it's fine. I mean, it won't be that big of a difference. But yeah, we take, Atlantic 10 tournament, A10. 4 teams really could make a nice run at this. Well, I mean, I guess 5 if you count, well, actually 6. I would say 6 teams could really make a decent run at the finish here. If they really put their mind to it, they can knock off Dayton. You know what I mean? Like St. Louis came close in the regular season. Rhode Island is a team that, they have their moments. Richmond is a team that right now projected in the field of 68. VCU is going to be a tough out for UMass and for Dayton. And then Duquesne is a team that they've had a pretty good record all season long. They just don't have that strength of schedule to give them that bid yet. You know what I mean? So had they had a stronger schedule, maybe they would be taken more seriously, like a Richmond team who has almost kind of the same record. But again, Duquesne did not have the best conference schedule record, I guess you could say. But taking a look at the completed simulation, and that is where we get the Duquesne deal in the projections from the couple slides ago. And as you see, taking a look at this real quick, I think we got a couple logos here. Yeah, there we go. Duquesne was the champion. I mean, look, as we said in the previous video, there are plenty of close games. I mean, look at that. Richmond and Davidson, 1-point game. A 2-point game between Rhode Island and Duquesne. Yeah, I mean, a 2-point game between UMass and VCU. Dayton only beat UMass by 4. Dayton and St. Louis was somewhat of a close game. And look, Duquesne beat Dayton by only 2. So, with these close games, and you'll hear me say this a lot, but with these close games, you're going to see that it could obviously, the obvious blatant answer is, oh, it could have gone either way. That's true, and that's where I like this simulation because it's one of the most accurate options. Because if you take a look at previous years' conference tournaments, you'll see that there are some close games. Maybe not as many as we're seeing in the simulations, but there are definitely close games, and it is correct because, there are close games in the tournament, the NCAA tournament, and these conference tournaments as well. But you take a look, and, look, we'll now see what Duquesne can do in the NCAA tournament as they get the automatic bid. Taking a look at the Conference USA tournament where we left off, we were down to 8 teams with Florida Atlantic, FAU, moving on, beating Old Dominion, FIU beating Rice, Marshall beat UTEP, and UAB beat UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. Out of this one, some of the teams that I was looking at, honestly, probably North Texas, Charlotte, Louisiana Tech, Marshall, and Western Kentucky as the ones that could possibly come out on the championship. Could be the automatic bid. Could win the conference tournament. Sorry, sometimes I get jumbled up with my words and stuff, so I apologize for that. Take a look at the completed simulation, and we see here that UAB knocked off Western Kentucky, and then got the door slammed on them from Louisiana Tech, who beat them 71-58. And then North Texas, really their only close game was against FAU, 69-65. And then after that, they were just cruising right along to the... Oh, geez. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought I had the logo pop up, but I guess not. Oh, well. Yeah, North Texas had cruised right along and won the Conference USA tournament. Taking a look at the MAC tournament, similar situation, down to 8 teams. You see Miami of Ohio knocked off Buffalo, who had been in the tournament in recent years. If you might remember them beating Arizona State a little bit back, and they've been in the tournament a couple of years. So, I mean, hey, won't be in it this year. I believe that the previous projection was Akron was going to win it all, but we take a look at the completed simulation, and we see that Ball State went all the way and played. I mean, this Ball State team, based on this simulation, could be a team to, have an upset in the tournament. I mean, look at this. Sure, they beat Kent State only by a score of 66-53. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. But they did go on and beat Bowling Green 80-62, and then they beat Akron 87-72. So it seems like Ball State is a high-scoring team. And, take a look at that, and this could be a team that gives a 5 seed a run for their money in the NCAA tournament. Look, Akron only beat Miami of Ohio by 4 points. That would have been really interesting to see the Miami, Ohio team make a run at it, but not to be, as Ball State wins the what does MAC stand for? I forget what it stands for. Midwest Athletic Conference, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Taking a look at the Southland tournament, and this bracket is kind of a weird bracket. And you got 2 games, another 2 games, another 2 games, and then it's like, I don't know. I feel like what they really should have done is, I don't get why. Well, actually, no, I do get why, but I don't know. I feel like there would be a better way to configure this bracket. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like the 5 and 4 play already, the 6 and 3 play already, and then the 8 and 7 play, and then the winner plays the 2 seed or something like that. I don't know. And then, I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way to configure this bracket, because I feel like it is I don't know, I feel like it's an odd thing. But the previous projection had Stephen F. Austin going all the way and winning it. And, Stephen F. Austin earlier in the year beat... Who did they beat? Did they beat Duke? Is that who they beat? They went into Cameron Indoor Stadium and beat Duke, I believe. I think that's right. Yeah. Again, Southland Conference Tournament. We take a look at the completed simulation. And this is where we had that Nichols State deal. And again, bear with me. My mistake. I messed up. But we take a look, and you see Sam Houston State beat Northwestern State by only 3, and then went on and knocked the doors off of Stephen F. Austin, and then only lost by 3 to Nichols State in the championship game. But taking a look at Nichols State, they beat Lamar by 4, beat Abilene Christian by 5, and then beat Sam Houston State by 3. And again, as I've said in the other ones, this, obviously, close games means it could have gone either way. And that's fine. But I just, I feel like bringing that up because, some people are going to say, oh, well, that's not accurate. Well, close games could have gone either way, plus the games weren't played. You never know how things are going to turn out. I don't know. But I do understand where you're coming from in the aspect that you feel like these aren't accurate because a lot of these teams that are winning the conference tournaments are not the ones that were projected to. And that's fine. I get that. That's fair. But take a look at the Sun Belt tournament. And this is, talk about weird configurations of a bracket. My goodness, what is this? Seriously. Because you got the 9 and the 8, the 7 and the 10. Looking at this bracket hurts my head. It really does, because, again, I feel like there's a better way to configure this bracket. Really. I really do. mean, you take a look at this, and I mean, it's just a lot to look at because, I mean, look, you have the 4 and the 5. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams. A 10-team tournament. I mean, the bracket does not look like this. I mean, take a look at the Pac-12. Or no, the Pac-12 does have 12 teams. Take a look at the Big 12 tournament tomorrow, in tomorrow's video. Their bracket does not look anything like this. It is in order. It's just, oh my lord. I mean, what? I just don't get why the bracket is so weird looking. Like, what? Like, all right, enough of that. Taking a look at the finished simulation, and Little Rock beat Georgia Southern by 4 points. And then you take a look at that South Alabama Texas State double overtime deal. I explained it yesterday how the overtime deal works, and if you don't know how an overtime deal or an overtime situation can work in a simulation, I would say go back and check, or not check, go back and watch the video from yesterday, and that will give you an idea of how overtime works. There was at least one overtime situation in that one. I'm not sure how many there really were. But yeah, Texas State had won, and they get the automatic bid from the Sun Belt Conference. Take a look at the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference brackets. This is where we left off. We had Prairie View A&M, Jackson State, Texas Southern, and Southern all left after, a pretty vanilla first round of that tournament. Prairie View A&M, I mean, shut the doors on Alabama A&M. Jackson State won, all that good stuff. So again, no really close games or any upsets of that matter. But taking a look at the final simulation, and this is where I kind of I think a little bit, because Prairie View A&M in the first round, and the first round is all real results. That was all the games that had actually happened before the NCAA canceled things. And that's why I'm having like a partially completed bracket first and then a completed simulation. The ones that have like some results done is where we kind of left off, if you will. And, taking a look, Prairie View A&M beat Alabama A&M 82-60. But then went on to lose to Jackson State 70-59. Right. Okay. Maybe Jackson State just has good defense. I don't know. But take a look. Southern barely escaped Texas Southern, only won by 1 point, and then went on to beat Jackson State by 10 for the automatic bid and the conference championship out of the SWAC. Excuse me, I'm going to caffeinate on this fine morning. Oh my, moving away from the SWAC and moving into the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. Nothing happened yet. No games were completed before the NCAA canceled everything. And we take a look at the completed simulation, and Grand Canyon goes on to win it all. And New Mexico State cruises by Chicago State in the first round, and then Grand Canyon beats New Mexico State by 1 point in the second round. Again, close game, could have gone either way. New Mexico State may have, honestly, most likely would have won that game in reality. Taking a look, Texas, Rio Grande, I don't even know what RGV stands for, Rio Grande Valley or something like that, I believe. They scrape by Seattle by 2 points after Seattle slams the door shut on Utah Valley. And then look, just a 5-point game in the final in the championship game of the Western Athletic Conference. So the Grand Canyon Antelopes get their automatic bid, and that is the last of today's conference tournament. So with that being said, in the next video coming out tomorrow, we will have the rest of the conference tournaments, and then on Sunday we will have the Selection Sunday Simulation Selection Sunday deal. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, a like would be appreciated. If you want to keep track of when I upload videos, hit the subscribe button, and then there's a little bell symbol, I believe, and it'll give you notifications every time a new video comes up. And then, as well, feedback in the comment section would be good. It's always welcome. It's, you know, whatever. It's the comment section. You can go in there and, you know, write your feedback, thoughts, comments, whatever. It's the comment section. Plain and simple enough. Other than that, we got the third video coming out tomorrow. NFL free agency coming on Friday, and then the Simulation Sunday video on, well, pretty self-explanatory. It'll be on Sunday. So with that being said, I thank you for watching this video, and we'll be back.